Good day everyone, welcome to my other presentation. Today I would like to present you the analysis on the one of the coal mines company listed in the stock market, Bumi Resources. The issue is fight between Rothschild and then Bakrie family as the owner of the Bumi Resources. Everything investigated by stock valuation calculator. Okay, some of you may know that there was a hot issue exploded last year around mid 2012 or end 2012, after one more year warm and promising partnership between Rothschild family and then Bakrie family to investing into Bumi Resources, Indonesian company listed in Jakarta stock market, and then both both owner agreed to form a new company called Bumi PLC listed in the UK stock market. Well, for this time I would like to disclose some surprising fact behind that deal. First of all, we want to talk about the general market overview in the coal market industry. You see those two charts, the left one is in the 5 years period chart showing the price of the coal, thermal coal, between those 5 years period. You see the price went up very steep from let's say $60 to almost 140, and then not long after the big increase, price fell to almost 60, and then fluctuation, but not so active, not so I mean a big difference. So but still in fluctuation between 2010 and then 2011. That's the presentation is gonna talk about within those 2010 and 2011. At that time the coal price was increased. Let's say beginning 2010 is around 70, and then went up before June 2011 up to 80 or more US dollar in coal price. And then if we talk about today's the market situation on 1 year starting May to May last year, in this 12 months period, the fluctuation is quite active. So why make it the coal price is so fluctuated? Is it maybe this is renewable energy, they consider it, but on the other hand, it's not environmental friendly. Of course, we know under Tokyo Protocol there is a time that coal fire power plant will be I mean prohibit or diminished in the years to come, maybe in the next 5 years from now or less. And if any country still operating this kind of a coal-fired power plant, the country must pay some certain tax according to Tokyo Protocol. So due to some fluctuation, due to some prohibition for the year to come, there is a threat, there is a risk. Basically, the business in the coal mine is quite speculative. Especially Indonesia is one of the coal mining producer, I think the top 5 in the world. So let's talk about Bumi resources. As we discussed that the company marked with major uh, acquisition or partnership with Rothschild family in UK, and then Rothschild appointed subsidiary Valar PLC to investigate and then make a decision, because I think they fell in love with Bumi performance. Of course, during the 2008 the global crisis in the US and the UK due to subprime scandal, uh, at one time that our government bond yield reached above 20%, and then the stock market in Indonesia crashed, especially price of Bumi resources. They went down up. They went down to around 400 rupiah after reach the top peak 8,000 in mid 2008, and then at the end of the year crashed and fell to 400, and then went up again in beginning 2009, because at that time, if we calculate the intrinsic value with stock valuation, is quite good. I mean, if the price is around 3,000 or 3,500, and then the intrinsic value calculation around 2,500 to 4,000. So this is a good deal to buy this kind of stock. So Valar confirmed that the investment to put in $3 billion plus 1.9 billion as a loan, and then executed in 2010 with a very warm ceremonial. At that time, Bumi growth recorded is 70% plus 2008, and then after recovery, the crisis, the price reached the highest 3,500 and continued stable until 2010. Yes, the true value in the 2010, when then Valar make a decision and later on execute in April 2011, the intrinsic value based on stock valuation is get 7,000 value. So it's really undervalued. The highest price at that time is 3,500, and then we calculate 7,000. Is it a good deal or not? Yeah, of course. Is it a good deal? But later on in 2011, the the valuation dropped to below 1,000, or exactly 855. So what's happening in the financial? What the management did to the company? And then also we can check that earning after tax fell 60%. It's dropped after big growth 80% in 2010. So this is incredible drop. It is fell. It is crash. What it is natural cause or bad management, or if we see the coal price between 2010 and 11 is around 60 to 80, is, well, it's considered a fluctuation, but it's not so big, it's not so steep. So if you see the turnover, the revenue is dropped only 8%. Is it, I mean, we can believe that. We can understand that because a big company like Bumi Resources, it is the biggest company in Indonesia with almost 40 trillion in revenue, and then almost 70 trillion in asset. This is the biggest coal mine in Indonesia. So that's why Rothschild is fell in love with. I think it is okay. This is the right decision at the time. And then the customer is a big customer like Sumitomo, Mitsui, Mitsubishi, Tokyo Electric, and some Glencore in Europe, and all the big guys have a long-term contract. So if there is a crisis or commodity falling, we see that, you know, the turnover is only fell 8%. Is normal. All right, and we see also check the capital expenditure. The company want to cut the capital expenditure from 1.4 trillion to cut in half, or more than half, to 650 billion in rupiah, but it doesn't help. The problem is, I mean, we check first is non-operating gain and loss. This is it is increase quite big. It's from the 2010 is 670 billion, and then this increased to 3.7 trillion. The problem is operating cost. Operating cost is increasing 6-7% to 86%. Well, is it can be blamed to the global price of the coal price? Well, because of maybe Rothschild find out that what's happening. The company dropped 60% in net profit, and the valuation dropped to below 1,000 rupiah. So the dispute and fight started, and then Rothschild demand for investigation. So let's check to the year after that, still in the revenue side, in the profit and loss side, true value dropped from 820 in 2011 to below the 100 rupiah, and then all the way from Q2 2012 until today. So the valuation is negative, meaning the company cannot be analyzed because it's too bad. The number is too bad. The free cash flow negative. The deficit in the balance is so high. So, or it's very difficult, or we can say this is the cannot be analyzed at all. So it's we advise just leave and then don't touch this stock. So somewhere in 2012, there's a big fight between Nathan Rothschild, and then they publish the fight through international media. He brought a lawyer, the international lawyer. So they accuse abuse, they accuse being cheated. Basically, this deal fell apart, and then of course the owner of the Bumi Resources, we run they ruin the international reputation, especially for the financial giant like Rothschild. I believe it will follow by the rest of the financial giant worldwide, because Rothschild is the owned by Jewish family, the oldest we consider financial empire in, and then I mean established in 1800 or something. So it's considered the empire, financial empire. So well, I think it's a quite blow. First of all, in 2012, it's lost all the way, all negative growth, the free cash flow negative, and then the climax is finally Nathan Rothschild pull out and the relationship broke up in rage. So, is there any accurate evidence based on uh, his decision? Well, we already discussed it's a drop in is drop in the revenue very little, but it's fell in the net income, and then operating costs rose very high. At that time is I mean decision made in I think in 2012 for in demand on investigation. So what's really happening that make valuation so bad? So we are talking about one important correction being made from audited report issued December 31st, 2010, and then audited report issued in December 2011. Okay, so we are talking about the report or the correction in the 2010. Okay, 2010 is the time that Rothschild make a decision to come in, to make huge investment in Bumi resources. So in this slide, I will show you two different reports. 2010 and 2012 is audited. So if in revenue side, you see in the US dollar, this is around 2.9 billion in revenue recorded or corrected in 2011 before or prior to annual report 2010 is recorded 4.3 billion. What it is? There is a big difference, almost half. Is it exactly 33% different? It's not that bad. Is that a correction? Is it misleading? It's considered cheating. So, to whom takes all the blame? Who? The company, public accountant, or stock market authority? There is a big question. This is only one point in the revenue side. If one major item change in the financial report, it will follow the other, of course. How about the net income? Based on stock valuation method, the most important thing is the net income, and then revenue to represent the growth of the company. So before, and the annual report in 2010 recorded the net income is 540 million US dollar, and then in audited report December 31st 2011 is recorded 266 million. Is it 50% more different? Is it a joke? It's really misleading. It's damaging the reputation. It is damaging the information. So that's why everybody being cheated. Not just only Nathan Rothschild, but everybody. The investor is being cheated. right? So the next question, who can we trust? So I think I leave it to your audience to judge. Okay. Next, we see the balance sheet side of the Bumi resources. Well, 2008 marked with highest growth, top line and bottom line. As we talked before, the negative balance sheet at that time, 2008, is not a threat. The debt is so big. Is I mean about 40 about 40 more trillion rupiah, and then they have a negative or deficit balance sheet. But since the growth of the top line and then bottom line is so big, there is no risk at all. There is no threat. The threat becoming a big risk if the growth is no longer there and replaced by negative growth. Is happening in 2011. Actually, it's already happened in 2010, but the report is misleading. So you see the debt never reduced, only restructure. They are doing old ways to cheat the market, whatever we say. I don't think it's a wise strategy to make the exchange over of the bonds, meaning that uh, paying off the old bond which is near to the maturity, and then issue the new bonds, and then talking to the market there is a good prospect, and then maybe some window dressing. Let's say it is a misleading that the report is being corrected 50%. So the equity also fell, ratio financial all fell, gross margin stable 35 to 45%. Well, in average is good, but operating costs rose more than 80%. What's happening? What's happening in the operating cost raise or rose 80% more? It is always a big question. Is it a bad management, natural causes, or it just happened? So again, there is a correction, of course, in the balance sheet, as we uh, talk about the difference audited report 2010 and 2011. Total assets have corrected 20%, and then that also corrected or a different 13% from the two audited reports. So we see a year after in the 2012, based on the Q1 until Q4 and until today, gross margin previously is in average is 35-45%. Now it's dropped around 20 to 30%, and operating cost rose because the companies make losses. So the operating cost rose to 120 to 170%. This is above the gross margin. Well, again, it's very difficult to accept the situation. Honestly speaking, the corrected audited report, who's gonna take all the blame? Okay, let's finish up, and then we'll see you next time for the other company analysis. Thank you.